I want to show you the tricks for working with the Husqvarna Viking Designer Epic 3's projection option while in embroidery. We've done it in sewing where it will show you like the decorative stitch that you're stitching and how to line it up. I love the grid option and some of the other ways of getting the lines all set for the way you're sewing. But I will tell you, I have struggled a little bit with mastering the projection, but I think I have figured out how to describe this the easiest. Hi, I'm Sarah from sewingmastery.com, where we do free video tutorials on tons of different machines, embroidery machines, and we have online classes like our most popular course, Embroidery Essentials. There are links to everything in the description, plus free videos in each course that you can watch to see if that course is right for you. We've got some other ones like Mastering Your Design Positioning, and also another popular class, Learning All Your Decorative Stitches and Accessory Feet, the Husqvarna Viking Stitching Cosmos online course. So I hope you'll check those out. So first off, one of the things that I didn't realize that using the projection will do is actually bring in this embroidery arm. So right now, usually when you're getting ready, it's sitting way out to the side here. But because it needs to project, it's going to bring it in. So I kind of liked it as an option of bringing that projection in at the right time, or a little ahead of time, might I say. So what are we talking about? I'm going to actually use this little segment. We did this as a kind of a how to embroider from start to finish. We did some lettering, we brought in a design, we positioned it, but I didn't use projection on purpose, so we could really go into this. So even though I added the word winter here, what if we were to add the word hello, to say hello winter, or happy winter, something of that nature. Since this has already been finished and I have long removed it from the screen, I can use projection to see if I like where it's going to stitch. So it's balanced. So yeah, I could probably learn to figure out how to kind of mark or measure down. Okay, maybe it's down from the center here to, let's say, 3 inches. Okay, so now what I used to have to do is kind of measure up 3 inches, make a mark, and then line it up on that mark. But here, with the projection, we're talking about something so much easier. So let's say we are going to get ready to use projection. Let's even turn it on before we even type out our word or pull up our design. So we're going to be using the projection option right up here on the screen. You will need to turn it on, and here comes that embroidery arm. And it asks for the hoop to be attached. So at this point, if you already have that hoop ready to go, then it's ready to work with the projection feature. Up is going to come a move hoop box. Now I will tell you that you're probably going to want to, speaking of, move said box around somewhere else. So I'm going to just kind of push this off to the side, and anytime you touch in that top bar, that means you can move these areas anywhere you want. So even this projection setup bar here, I can actually move that down or around. You have complete control over where each of the little menus can sit on your screen. So you can see over here, we already have a window of projection coming down from the machine. So it's not going to project the entire design, and I think that's where I kind of got hung up before, and why I want to show you the specifics of how to get this to work. And I will tell you, not until you actually sit down and do it will it make sense. So go ahead and watch this video all the way through, then come back, turn your machine on, and let's do it together step by step. So first off, if this LED work light is way to the plus side, you're going to notice that there's a lot more light, and maybe this box of projection is not going to be as easy to see. So just know that by going down to the minus, you can get that to really be a higher contrast when you're looking at that hoop. Next, we can touch where it says background color, and this will change what color of projection I played around a little bit on this dark blue fabric and realized that the white was the best, but you might have some other times where you might want to change it to kind of an orange background. Well, orange and blue doesn't look much, it kind of just looks kind of muted. So I went with the highest contrast and picked white. Touch apply to keep that setting. And brightness, probably go ahead and do it all the way to the brightest setting. So go ahead and close this down. It's still on, but now that little window is set aside. It still has the move hoop option, which we'll use once we get a design on our screen. I've decided to add the lettering in the font that I used earlier, which was a size 20. And let's go ahead and just do hello. So we'll type it in. You see it kind of showing in the background here. So if you want to touch the alphabets, it kind of minimizes this. And when you're ready to stop typing, touch the arrow down, and then that sets it as an item on screen. So we want to find where we need to position this. Now, the projection's one way to get something positioned, but you can also use the design positioning or exact positioning that we find on the stitch out screen. So there's more than one way to get an item located where you want it to stitch. But let's walk through these particular options. And now we're going to come over here and see how it actually is used to position into place. So this is the part I was always confused at. See how I moved my design all the way up to the upper part of my hoop, but my projection doesn't show that part of the design. Wherever this plus is, you might say, your needle, meaning from the needle, if you were, say, a pair of binoculars, looking down from the top of the needle, you are going to see kind of an area that's anywhere about 3 by 4 inch area. So if the design is not in that area, you won't see it. So that's what that little move hoop box is for, is this is going to move the binoculars up to where the design is. And so as I go, and it's kind of funny, you actually touch the arrow down, and you can hold your finger on it. Which moves the little plus on screen. So right now the plus is sitting just above the E. So let me do this. Let me kind of pull it back. As you hold it, that little plus moves around. And I kind of feel that anytime you want to use this, touch and hold, it has a little delay, but go ahead and hold it. Watch the plus move till you see it. And you'll find that if you're actually above the design, remember this is your needle with binoculars pointing down. Now we see the design in the projected area. Now do keep in mind that as I go to move that plus a little higher, it looks like the design is moving, but it isn't actually moving. It's just the projector kind of switching positions, but we haven't moved this at all. I'm going to show you how we adjust the design to match where we want it to actually be on the screen. But I think this was the part that confused me the most. The more I touch these arrows, for example, I just touched the center and it moved back to the center. See how it looks like it's moving to the side? It's actually just the projection area moving to the side. That's why I suggested that you kind of play with this. And not until I really sat and studied it did I realize that the design is not moving. It's just the little window shining down. So now I feel my design, though it looks centered, I am going to move it up a little bit. So with the design selected, use the arrows that you use to normally move the design into position. I didn't need to go very far, so I'm going to use the arrows down here. I can also touch and drag that. That would be another way to do it. But I can also see that it is moving up in the projected area. And I can see now that everything is to my liking. Once I'm ready to do the stitch out, go ahead and touch at the bottom right corner, stitch out, and I'll be able to start stitching the design positioned exactly where it's going to stitch. So I hope you'll take some time to work with the move hoop and the projection area. When you're done with the projection, just come in here, toggle it off, and you're ready to stitch out without that extra projected area in your line of sight. I hope you'll check out all of our free video tutorials. Please click the like button every time you watch one of our videos. That is your way of saying thank you for the free content as you watch it. Happy sewing, everyone!